Hello, Cubs. It is almost that time. I want to make sure I was streaming close to being on time. Uh, yeah. I'm a little warm. Since absolutely no one voted on my poll, which I thought was a nice poll. Still. Ugh. And I get my stuff shared and whatnot. Hey, I made it up to 32 followers. That's freaking awesome. VTuber? I'm posting to Twitter. Ah, trying to. Not at. Ah. VTubering uprisings. Okay. And before you ask, yes, a bottle of wine was partaken. Because reasons. It wasn't my normal cheap bottle of wine. This was actually Real Sangria and Cruz Garcia. Ooh, 1.5 liter content. It's only 7.5% by volume. And we're supposed to serve it cold. Oh well, I drank it lukewarm. Because it was on my kitchen counter. If I hadn't gone out to eat with Dad tonight, I'd have probably cooked food and I have an entirely different bottle of wine. Because I've got this nice little Chianti on my counter. But I'm drinking sangria, so there. Alright. 1.5 liters. Why does this have good of you? Who's viewing me? I always feel like somebody's watching me. Droop dog. Nice. If at any time you come in and you don't hear me acknowledging that you came in because I don't see that you came in, feel free to use one of the sound alerts because, quite frankly, I've got them listed as free. Yeah, okay, people are playing games and such. Posting there. Albert, if you ever find a way to get a bot that does all this stuff, ask Albert, sorry. If you ever find a way to get all this stuff just broadcast by a bot, it would be awesome. Let me know. Uh, yeah. And I did actually participate in one of the pass or smash things, and apparently I read too many books to be smashed, which is simply fun. Okay. Anyway, let me go ahead and open this. Cool. Is Yumi still on? Arctica Yumi, you pretty wolf girl. I do not see you listed anywhere. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh, looks like you're not streaming now. Oh well. You're cool. You're cute. And you're an awesome wolf of color, which honestly doesn't matter. Do what you do. Be the badass girl that you are. Shit, I have not set up what book I was gonna do. Fuck. Okay, go to the Storyteller window. Oh, cool. I don't have the book up. Back up. Blech. Where? Ah, Beast and Beauty. This book. This is the book I have of contemporary fairy tales, which, quite frankly, is really cool. It's set from a more modern audience. So I'm not gonna. Okay. I'm conscious, so therefore I am good. Should I give it a couple minutes to see if anyone shows up? I mean, no one has yet. I mean, I don't know if it's just because I'm not entertaining or what, but honestly, I am keeping to a schedule. And I said that I was going to do Friday night Drunken Fairy Tales. It is Friday night. I scheduled myself to start at 9 p.m. Central. I was a minute or two late starting because I don't know, on my clock I was less than a minute late starting, so done better than most of the VTubers I watch. uh, okay, sound check. What do I want to sound check with? Just a random. Okay, what are we gonna do? Think. I didn't hear anything. Do I still have story time with the sound checks turned off? No, it says it's on. Why did nothing play? I need to know when people are here. Come on. Shit. My sound alert's not working? Inquiring minds need to know. Sound alert says it's Storyteller talks. Sound alert's on. I want to know when people are there. Give me sound alerts. Just my own woo would be nice. Come on. Shit, I'm not hearing anything. Shit, I'm not hearing anything. Come on. Come on. Anything? Anything? Why are my sound alerts not sound alerts? Fuck. Why are my sound alerts not sound alerts? Fuck. Okay, why can I hear anything? I didn't mute myself, did I? Oh. Okay, why can I hear anything? I didn't mute myself, did I? Oh. Okay, what the hell's going on? Sound alerts. Refresh cache of current page. Refresh cache of current page.
Hello there.
Come on.
Hello there.
Oh, there we go. Come on. Oh.
Hello there.
Oh, there we go. Oh. There we go. This one? Nice. Oh, such a good woo. No. Okay, now I can mute myself. Why am I not hearing it through my headset? My headset muted? Hello? I don't hear Jack stuff. Did I literally post to myself? I posted shit to myself. Oh. Share to book of faces. Paste. That's not what I wanted to see. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I am a geek, and that's a given. Ouch. Okay. I've shared with all that I can share. No one has come to join us yet. I'm blowing out this damn candle because I should. I can feel my pulse in my fingers. Yes, the sangria is working. Okay, so tonight I'm reading out of the books Beasts and Beauty, Dangerous Tales. The one that's on screen. Oh, why don't I have the author's name on there? I want the author's name. I want to make sure the author gets recognized. Author is Soman Shinani. These stories have been quite awesome so far. Yeah. So let me get myself all ready and set here. I'm going to try my damnedest to do this in character as me, reading to cubs, because that's what I do. If you've never cut one of my streams, which apparently is very likely, I like to read bedtime stories to cubs. Oh, silent one, cool. She's a cute little perrita. She just now came on. I didn't see an alert for her. Anyway. Abra un libro. This story starts on page 47 and goes to page 68. Oh. Take me last page is 40. Yeah. Excuse me, 67. I'm only going to read the one story tonight because reasons. Yeah, I've been using the receipt as a bookmark. That's cool. Okay, so Drunken Fairy Tales. Not recording right now because I want to put the recorded version on the tube of you because I want it to be more. Wow. I do not pre-screen these books, at least the stories. Like, honestly, the first line in this one is, "To the prince, it was clear. Demons were drinking his blood." So, yeah. I want everyone to get comfy and cozy before I start reading this legitimately. As legitimately as I can after drinking 1.5 liters of sangria. Admittedly, I think I just drank 1 liter of it because I had already drunk some of it beforehand. Ow. Okay. No, I'm not going to post a record message. Record messages when I'm doing serious shit. Like Edgar Allan Poe, because Edgar Allan Poe was serious shit. If I can get back into my chair, which really shouldn't be a big if, but right now it is. So I'm kneeling on the floor. Ouch. Yeah. I think I'm just doing a bit. No, I'm actually. I've been drunk for a little while. And I drunk it. So, oh. Whew. Public service announcement. Do not read fairy tales to your cubs while drunk. Leave that to the professionals or the people pretending to be professionals. Yeah, so. Oh, man. Any questions to be asked by chat? We'll be treated like it's the Cubs asking me questions. So there's that. So anyway, I really have just been drinking sangria, so I really shouldn't be this bad off. But what the hell? I'm gonna start recording now. Are you cool with that? Cool. I'm gonna start recording, and switch to where I'm watching the Twitch stream as opposed to staring at OBS. So if anything goes wrong, I won't know. I'm already 22 minutes into this shindig. I've got 581 views. That's not really that good. Hey, kitten, how you doing? Okay. And recording in 3, 2, 1. Another Friday night. Yay. At least the Cubs have been a little bit more cooperative today. After the kitchen fire was put out, the Cubs were a little more cooperative. Luckily, we had enough money to eat out. Gotten quiet. Too quiet. Quiet is only suspicious when it comes to cats and children. I half expected to crash by now. There ain't any crashes. That worries me. Surely they're in bed at least. Maybe. If I'm lucky. They're in bed. They're staring at their phones again. Damn it, Cubs, put those things away. You know, if you're staring at a screen this late, you can't fall asleep. Yeah, I know. I do it all the time, but I'm here to serve as a bad example, remember? I'm the one that your parents tell you not to be like. Oh, that's very reassuring, Cubs. Thank you. And no, I'm not going to get any different if I end up getting lucky or any of that. Who even talks to you Cubs about that kind of shit, really? Sorry, language. I know. So, what do you Cubs think about a story? Yeah, I'll read your story. Which book? Oh, you want... Why do you want out of that book? Looks weird. Oh, you like the weirder stories. Oh, fine. Let's see. What was the last time we read in here? Oh, the last story we read was Snow White. Okay. Let's see. Page. Flip. Ooh, man, I didn't know Snow White was 28 pages. Let's read something a little bit shorter. Okay, Sleeping Beauty, it's only 22. Lovely. Maybe we'll look at it and it'll be shorter. Maybe I'll really look at it and you still comes to fall asleep and I don't have to read the entire thing. Yeah, I agree. That'll never happen. Okay. So, sleeping, Sleeping Beauty. Just be glad I'm not reading the Anne version of this. No, 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 no. You Cubs do not need to read the Anne version of this, or whatever name it was she wrote this Snow White novels under. You don't need to read that until you're at least, I'll say 16 because I'm not a prude. Yeah, it's one that it's a little more mature and well, I've already read you the Grimm fairy tale version of. Oh, did I? No, I read you the Grimm fairy tale version of Rapunzel. I haven't read you Snow White in that one yet. Yeah, no, you know the story. At least what the story that they tell you and the whole fairy godmother and your bibbity bobbity boo bullshit. Bobbity boo bullshit. Boo bullshit. Cubs, 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 Cubs. That's not how the story in this book goes. And you wanted this version, so I'm going to read this version. If you're lucky, I'll read you the other version sometimes later. I don't know. But anyway, let me get to reading so you cubs can go to sleeping and I can go to. No, I'm not going to check out wolvesonly.com. No, I'm not going to go for Hobie. Where do you cubs even get off knowing about this wonderful internet services? Okay. Sleeping Beauty. Hush. Before I started, did you go to the bathroom? Brush your teeth. All that wonderful parental bullshit that they told you to do. Okay. Ow. God, my leg hurts. Anyway, cubs. Try this again. Sleeping Beauty. I know you want me to say Sleeping Beauty, but still. Sleeping Beauty. That's the story we're reading. It doesn't even start with Sleeping Beauty. It starts with someone else. It starts with the prince because reasons. Ow. God, my leg hurts. Anyway, try this again. Sleeping Beauty. To the prince, it was clear. Demons were drinking his blood. Well, that's a fun twist. Automatically starts with demons and ow, damn, paper cut. Sorry, demons and vampirism. Did not want to get blood on this book. Lord knows we don't need it coming to life. Like the other one. Nothing. I said nothing about books coming to life when you get blood on them. Please don't try it at home. That's not my bookstore. Okay. There was no other explanation. No way of explaining how a boy of 16 could wake each morning with his head pounding, his skin clammy and pale, and blood dripping across the sheets. Other than not being a boy, I don't know. No way of explaining how small, red-rimmed wounds punctured his neck, biceps, and chest. Ooh, kinky. No way of explaining how he dreamed of faceless forms on top of him, feasting on him, only to wake with his shirt torn open and no one there. Okay, so clearly the boy has issues. Princess and her. At first, he went to his father, the king, but no father wants to hear the torments of his son's bedchamber, especially demons that go against God. What demons go against God? No. Insistent, the boy bared his neck, showing the cursed marks. Promptly, prompting the king to send the doctor, who probed the boy with rods and steel and confirmed the king's suspicions. He needs a wife. uh, the boy's getting sucked on in the night, and the court doctor says, "Get this boy married." Oh, if only that were so easy. Okay. At this, the boy went to his mother, confiding in her power that afflicted him. The bloody handprints that stained his sheets, the haunted ghosts of his mornings, but the queen knew no good would come in believing him. Because queens, I guess. So it continued. The prince afraid to sleep each night, eyes wide and vigilant for his foe, only to smell a strange rush of roses and stir awake. Shirt ripped, sun kissed like a sleeping beauty, sucked of blood once more. Oh, well, the boy's sleeping beauty in this one. That's kind of cool. I guess, maybe. The wounds in his skin healed in time, replaced by fresh ones roving up and down his body. He was a prisoner to the demon, who neither showed its face nor seemed to want anything more. Anything more. No bargain or sacrifice or ransom, only to drink from the sleeping prince. Lucky kid. Soon a dark shame filled the prince's heart, especially when girls began to vie for it. For he was at the marrying age now, with eligible females paraded before him each morning and afternoon as he sat sallow and ravaged. His father and mother beside him, jurors to a pageant of beauty, gifts, and talent. There was a princess of Sarapol who brought 100 cherry blossom trees. The Countess of Corkina, who reached her head into a tiger's mouth. The Marquesa of Saltimbanca, who did a dance of veils that seduced the men into sleep. Except for the prince. That was it. That is. Is it boring or just not enticing? He stayed wide awake as the Marquesa writhed and whirled, the bells of her anklets jingle-jangling. She swung her hips and did the splits, men moaned and dropped into sleep. The prince numbed to it all. The prince has not gone through puberty. Seeing his father snoring and the dancing well, pleased with herself, the prince feigned slumber, as to not be rude. The cruel irony, of course, against the demon. Sleep caged him ruthlessly, but facing a woman's charm, he battled it away like a soap bubble. Why had the demon chosen him? Why no one else? Then again, he couldn't be sure. He'd had moments with page boys or men in town, even the odd night, where he'd seen the same haunted pallor, the odd placed scarf or upturned collar that seemed to be hiding something, the same frightened eyes he saw in the mirror each morning, as if they too had caught the malady without cure. But then he put the thought away. He was the only one, he was sure of it. The demon had picked him. Yet, the more he considered it, the more he seemed the wrong choice. The kingdom was teeming with wanton dukes, corrupt priests, spiteful traitors, and even the prince's father made no secret of his taste for women and drink. The prince had been a good boy. That's why. God-seeking and hard-working and disciplined in mind and deed. That he would be the devil's toy was unfathomable. So what could be wrong with him? A defect in the blood? A kink in his soul? Kinky soul? Nice. Whatever it was, he had to be rid of it, so that he prayed harder, thought pure, gave his quarters his fullest attentions as they peacocked and preened. And yet, still the smell of roses came, the horror of morning, and more blood drunken out of him, the wounds deeper and deeper and deeper, tempting him with the respite of death, but never giving him over. And so he set a trap, as clever princes do. A solid ring with razor steel teeth hidden in the sheets where he slept. For 2 nights the demon didn't come, as if knew it was tempting fate. But on the third night, at the peak of dark, the prince smelled the roses. A cry yanked him out of his sleep. Something was on top of him. Not a demon or a monster. Instead, a boy about his age. He had red waves of hair, a long, gentle nose, and skin the color of the moon. He clenched his bloody wrists in the folds of his shirt, his mouth quivering, his eyes bright with fear. A severed hand lay in the trap. Blood soaked into the blood leaked onto the prince, but for once not his own. The prince and thief locked eyes. A broken-winged bird caught. Then flying, the thief for the window, gasping, trailing blood, the prince lunging after him. But he was gone into the night, a part of him left behind. In the spring, the prince chose a bride. There was no reason to delay. The night crimes had ceased, his sheets again clean, the mornings reclaimed with vigor and promise. Everyone spoke of how strapping the young prince looked, his skin rosier, his chest proud, and if whatever had been afflicting him had been cast out and replaced by a woman's love. Even so, his pick for a wife was surprising. The Contessa of Tagara, who for all her beauty had a glacial air and foreboding manner, like a statue too valuable to touch. Where the other rivals competed for the prince's hand, the Contessa simply claimed it, insisting that they should be married by the end of the spring, and the prince offering no objection, as if he'd been yearning for a soul to captain his fate. Bottom. The king thought the prince should have a girl more lively. The queen thought he should have one more humble. But given their son was no longer speaking of a demon in the night, they ceded their blessing without fuss. And yet, as the wedding neared, the prince's glow doused, the sleepless pole returning. At night he lay awake in his bedchamber, gazing at the window he left wide open, wondering what became of the boy who'd feasted on him. When sleep came, it came fitfully, filled with dreams of severed hands and bloodless hearts. Nosie's spell was in the night, raising heat and the chills of the flesh that became his real life. Other days became a somnolent haze, his bride eager to involve him in the wedding plans, and the prince returning vacant looks as if to a stranger. Soon the Contessa's own gaze sharpened, a snake's losing sight of her prey. She proposed a trip, a 12-day tour of the neighboring realms that would show off their love, filled with grand parades and sumptuous state dinners, and white-tie balls, glittering tributes to the couple that would impress upon the prince, who awaited their wedding as much as he was at stake. A marvelous idea, clapped the boy's father, who thought some time in close quarters with his bride might restore his son's puff. Sons of puff. Soon the bags were packed and the couple sent on their way, no expense spared. And though the prince still wore a heavy-lidded melancholy, he satisfied the Contessa's wants at every turn. He gave no window to his own. Indeed, he asked only one thing of her, a peculiar request that took her by surprise. That at each stop he be arranged to meet any townspeople missing a hand. It was an easy wish to indulge, especially since the prince's mood improved remarkably in greeting these unfortunate souls, bestowing sacks of gold upon them. That he was wasting treasure on maimed people he didn't know rankled the Contessa, but she made no signs of her displeasure. other than an offhand question as they rode through Ravenna. What interest do you have in them, these folks you asked for? The prince remained silent, his eyes fixed to the carriage window as if he'd left something behind. Plenty of people suffer in life, she snipped. It is their fate. A lump of gold won't bring back their hands. The gold is so he shows his face, the prince replied briskly. He? His bride asked. The prince didn't answer. He? She repeated. Her groom paused a long moment before he turned to her. A thief used to come in the night to me. I took his hand with the trap. Now I wish to return it to him. A thief in the night, the Contessa said, the words tart in her mouth. And now you wish to reward him? Not reward, said the prince, only to give back what's been taken. From a thief, his bride repeated. The prince returned to his window. He'd made a mistake in telling her, especially since she watched closely now as he continued his meetings with each in the realm, the Contessa hunting for any signs he'd found in the one he'd spoken of. But the prince's stayed blank. The gold meted out, and the wretched dismissed, until at last they returned back home. The Contessa content that the prince's request had gone unfulfilled, or so she thought. For back in Ravenna he had found the thief, though he had almost hadn't recognized him. The henpecking pair had rushed the boy forth, an obsequious couple with greedy eyes intent on the gold their son had reaped them, while the boy receded, clutching a stump to the wrist. He scarcely looked the same, his cheeks sunken and cadaverous, his muscles poorly fed, nothing like the wicked Cupid who had drunk from the prince by the moon. Now the prince and the boy locked eyes once more, the boy cowering into the shadows as if the lights of the sun might burn him into ash. Every step the prince took towards him, the boy's father and his ogreish wife obstructed, cooing and flattering to solicit more gold, praising the prince's size and strength and virility, till the prince had enough and dumped the bag of coins onto the street. Stooge and crone dove, scavenging every last one, as the prince bent toward the boy, slipping a note in his shirt, which told him to come to the forest of Eden on the 12th moon. For it was on this 12th night that the prince and the Contessa were married. The gardens of Castle aglow were crystals and lights. Thousands of high-ranking revelers packed amid an orangery. Orangery? That's an orangery. And mirror pools and Neptune fountain. The king and the queen seated in thrones like overlords, keeping track of who greeted them with the most obeisance, while dukes and counts fawned over the newly wedded Contessa, uncowed by the ring on her finger. No one paid attention then, when the groom slipped off to the forest surrounding the palace, and found the thief from Moena waiting for him, just as he'd asked. Neither spoke a long while, the boy hiding his scarred arm. Go on, then, he said at last, puffing up. Kill me, that's what you're here for, isn't it? Finish me and go to your bride. No one will notice I'm gone. The prince reached into his coat, and the thief shuddered, knowing he must take his punishment. Instead, the prince brought forth the boy's lost hand. He held it in the moonlight, at once offering it to him and keeping it close as if it belonged to them both. The thief didn't move, even as the prince came closer. Patiently, the prince took his arm, firm and tight, and fitted it with the missing piece. Their shadows twined like two sides of the moon. Tears sprung to the boy's eyes. They spilled to the ground, spreading a bed of roses. The scent drugged the prince, his eyes rolling back. He spoke with a start. A spray of blood in the forest, a shirt slashed away, new wounds in his flank. Now he returned to his wedding, a wildling of the nights, chest bared, blood spattered, roses ripe in his hair, and yet now everyone was drawn to him. They're drawn to him there where they weren't before, his father kissing him. All revelers drew close, sniffing and slavering at the prince, and bowing at his sides like dogs of a pack to a wolf. The Contessa noticed. Of course she did. She noticed too well when he built his own tower in the castle, higher than any of the others, with only a single window carved out of its stone. The entrance to the tower, sealed with gilded doors, carved every inch with roses. His princess wasn't given a key. That the prince would want to be walled off from his wife riled the Contessa, but there was no one to appeal to, given the king took great pains to avoid his own wife, and other than the usual public appearances, the king and queen stayed fortressed in separate wings, because that's what married couples do. Oh, you understand when you're older, cubs. It's a lot easier to sleep by yourself. I won't say it's because of the snoring, but yeah. Still, there was something sinister about the handsome buck, in the prime of his youth, taking no notice of his spouse, even when she swan about the castle in Chantilly lace and a pretty face and a short tail hanging down. Chantilly lace and a diaphanous of silks. But leave beauty spurned too long and just wait. Beauty turns to beast. Oh shit. The Contessa stationed her own guards outside the prince's tower, scouring the night for his visitors, but none came. She put two more high in a tree, commanding them to watch the prince's window. But each time they'd fall asleep and wake at dawn, only remembering the strange smell of roses. So she suffered in furious silence, her face haggard, her hair ragged, her eyes, once brilliant gems, now hard, cold stones. All the while, the prince emerged from his golden spire each morning, glowing like a cloudless sun, despite sleepless caresses under his eyes, sleepless creases, and red-hot wounds in his skin. Kinky. If only she could be If only she could be content with diamonds and champagne. That's why she married him, after all. For the gowns and the boots and the fame. All these bounties of a princess still flowed plentifully to her, but pleasure is only a fleeting respite. With each morning that the prince looked happier and happier, rage fizzled in the Contessa's heart. A craving to punish him for his happiness she hadn't given him permission to have. Those bitches, yo. Soon the Contessa began to feel the stirrings of black magic, the calling of a witch. For what is a witch but a princess who no longer has need for her prince? Well, there's a philosophical debate for you. Which might explain why evil queens are always, once you don't need their kings anymore. Anyway, continuing. In the depths of night, the Contessa went to the doors of the prince's tower. His rose-carved vault, taking a knife, slit her hand, smearing her blood on the doors like a wolf marking a kill. Overnight, a dark spell took hold, spiraling twists of thorns, thick and purple, the color of strangled love, binding the tower from top to bottom and shrouding the window in the thorn's teeth, like a trap once kept in a prince's bed. At last she slept soundly, sure her prince's joy had been snuffed out. But the next morning there he was at the breakfast table, Wounds fresh from his unbuttoned shirt, and a smile blissfully crescent, drifting aimlessly towards her as if I hardly remembered why she was there. Outside, no thorns had turned to roses. Outside, thorns had turned to roses. No more magic, she decided. She'd take care of her things herself. The worst kind of witch. That night, she waited until the prince kept himself in his tower. Then she sharpened a carving knife in the kitchen and climbed the rose vines to his window. Into his bedchamber she went, the prince asleep, and splayed against the white sheets, the half smile on his face, a beauty waiting to be kissed awake. Not tonight, the Contessa thought. She cut his throat with her knife and then climbed down the roses, tiptoeing back to her room with a maleficent grin. Oh, that's the name of it. A maleficent grin. Because Maleficent. I gotta spell it out for you, kids. Give me a second. What is the definition of Maleficent? I don't want the name, I want the actual definition. Lord. I'm gonna look up the name without finding. Okay. Oh. Definition of Maleficent. I will post it in chat, but I will also read it here. That is a synonym of baneful, but Maleficent. Working or productive of harm or evil. So let's see, where is it? Not tonight, the Contessa thought. She cut his throat with her knife and climbed down the roses, tiptoeing back to her room with a maleficent grin. There's your lesson for the night, cubs. The next morning she joined the king and queen at breakfast, still smiling to herself, relishing the sugared toast and strawberry crepes. Sounds good. Letting the syrup dribble down her chin, waiting for the screams from the tower once the maids did their rounds. Instead, at the stroke of 9, the doors to the dining room opened and the prince entered, humming softly to himself, his gaze upon his wife, a ring of roses around his neck, precisely where she'd slashed it. The Contessa jumped out of her chair, eyes aflame, the red scorch in her cheeks, her blood boiling so deep from the inside that she let forth a murderous scream and dashed her foot against the stone floor again and again and again, until it shattered beneath her and she plunged straight through to her death. What? She stomped the floor until she fell through it. Okay. Did you get that, Cubs? She was so pissed off she went thump her and kill herself. The king and queen went on eating their toasts, for these were the kinds of things that happened between sons and wives. Really? Oh, God. King and queen goes, kids. You know, young married couples, she gets pissed off because he's wearing a, necklace of roses that she gets so pissed off she stomps a hole in the floor and falls to her death. Okay. Yeah. Sons and wives. Yeah. In the days that followed, the prince brought the Ravenna boy to her. What? 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 Oh, okay. Uh, okay, try this again. In the days that followed, the prince brought the Ravenna boy to her place at the table. Across the boy's throat was a jagged scar, like the one made by a carving knife, the same width and size of the ring of roses around the prince's neck, as if they'd traded pain for beauty, beauty for pain. The king and queen looked upon this boy with moon-white skin and wild red hair and asked him no questions. Nor did the boy offer any answers, and indeed, as long as nothing was spoken, there was peace and tranquility, a family as it should be. Okay, don't ask, don't tell. You're with our son. You two are happy. We don't care, as it should be. Honestly, Cubs, that really is a pretty good moral for the story. Parents, as long as their kids are happy, shouldn't butt the fuck in. Should should just butt the fuck out. Anyway, kids happy, peaceful, everyone looking happy. Uh-oh, gets worse. But then one day, the boy wasn't there, his entry to the castle barred. I need a grandson, the king told the prince. Force. He said it in such the same tone as he once told the boy that he needed a wife. Look, kid, I need an heir. Gets the fucking. Yeah. Uh. Okay, so that kind of goes back to the whole traditional thing. Is we don't care as long as you're happy, but we need an heir. Okay, continuing. The prince stared at the chair across from him, the boy missing. You will be king one day, the father insisted. A king must have an heir, must they? The prince's eyes stayed on the empty chair. Give me an heir, and my guards will leave your window unwatched, the king promised. Now the prince faced him. If only fathers invested in love as much as they did their sons, he said. He retreated to his tower and never came out. Not for meals, not for court, not for any of the beautiful girls sent to his tower, eager to give the prince an heir. Furious, the king sent guards to seal off the prince's window, but each night the men smelled the charge of roses before walking into bright, clean sun and blood-stained sheets that maids brought forth from the chamber. Night after night, season after season, roses and blood, like a marriage rite, the prince and his unseen caller, till the king gave up and sent his guards away, leaving his son to his shame. It's not a shame, damn it. Then one day, something strange happened. A maid was changing the sheets, stripping the usual marks, but she turned back. The blood was gone, in its place a child. A baby boy with rose-red hair. The king came running to the moment he heard, thieving the child away for the prince before dropping him in shock. He bites, he said, as the child did to the queen. But it was to the prince that the son caused no pain, and he lived with him there in the tower, shut away from the world, except for the thief that came through the window each night to watch over them, both until morning, like a visit from Mother Moon. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Cubs. to admit I rather like that story. I didn't know that male vampires could, you know, have kids. I don't know, I like the story. It's a good story. Which handsome princes can, once they realize that they are in love with their, I guess, personal demon. I hate saying it that way because I don't really see, you know, gay cubs as demons. So if you're gonna be happy, yeah, be happy. It doesn't matter who you're with. Well, it doesn't matter your parents' blessings either. I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, and they're probably gonna hate me for saying it too. But honestly, Cubs, just if you're in love with someone, be in love with someone. I hate really going into details on that, but as parents, I can kind of, yeah, see from their point of view. But, you know, they're also royalty and they've got their own shit to deal with. Royal lineages and all that. But, yeah, yeah. Anyway, Cubs, I think you should go ahead and go to sleep. Honestly, that was a pretty good story. Had some good morals to it. Parents aren't gonna stop you from seeing someone that you're in love with. No one should really stop you from seeing someone you're in love with, despite how contrary to yeah, popular belief it should be. Prince was in love with someone. The whole cutting off the arm thing, again, it relates back to some of the werewolf stories that I know. How do you find out who's the werewolf? Well, if you find the wolf and dismember them when you're trying to find out the person who is the wolf, well, find the same person with similar. My love yous, let's say. That really comes. It's just. There's a reason I don't read those stories beforehand. I want my own general reaction to them. I want your general reaction to them because they're good moral stories. That's what fairy tales are for. Fairy tales, they help you learn and grow. I would just assume my cubs be the well rounded individuals that I hope they're going to grow up to be. And you cubs really do mean everything to me. There's so many times it's. If I just if it weren't for you cubs, I wouldn't be here. I would have no reason to be here if I couldn't help guide and mold the way that you grow up. I'm not saying anything against your parents because your parents are awesome people, but Everyone needs to hear all sides of the story. Everyone needs to hear the original story. Everyone needs to hear the newer version of the story. Everyone needs to know what an actual story belongs to be. And I'm not just saying it because I'm still a little on the toasty side, which I am, I'll admit to. But honestly, Cubs, choices you make in life are your own. And as they are your choices, you control your story. Be the person that you want to be. Be the person that can change the world the way you want it to become. If you find something you truly want and desire, I expect you to go after it. I admit my own failings that I've been horrible at pursuing the things that I really care for. And you see that I've been suffering for it. It's not in it for me to pursue such things when I could stay here and make a choice, or at least some kind of impact, on how that you live your lives. Cubs, what I'm telling you is it's your life, it's your choice. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you're wrong in doing what you do. You have to learn that on your own. I'm just saying that when you do need to make your choices, remember the lessons that you've been taught. Remember the stories. Remember the morals. And remember how they affect you. Life is the best teacher, and learning from those who have experienced it is probably one of the best ways to learn. I'm getting a little preachy here, aren't I? I hate being preachy. But Cubs, honestly, life is what you make of it. I really want you to get this down. So, Cubs, you are worthy of what you become. It may be difficult to make those decisions. It may be tough choices that you have to make. We all succeed. We all fail. And it's all by what we do. There's no mysterious outside force that controls how we do things. Fate doesn't exist the way that people want it to. Religion doesn't exist the way that people want it to. The only way to proceed in your life is by learning and doing. I don't know if I can make it any plainer. But it looks like you Cubs are dozing off. So I just want you to remember this. It's your life. Choices will need to be made. Make sure that they're your choices. Sure, you can listen to other people's guidance, you can listen to your parents' guidance, you can listen to religious advice, or you can listen to me and take everything with a grain of salt. Because in the end, it's always going to be your decision that affects how things go. And I'm not saying it'll always be for the better. A lot of times it could be for the worse. But even when it's for the worse, you can still learn from it. Go out there and live your lives. Things will always seem unfair for one reason or another. Things are unfair for one reason or another. That's just how life is, Cubs. But as it is, I want you to go to sleep, dream your dreams, live your lives, follow your dreams if you can. Everything that you do affects your tomorrow. But don't forget, everything that you do also affects everyone around you. So do your best, not just for you, do your best for everyone that you influence. That's why I'm here with you, Cubs. I want you to do your best. And that's for me. If you Cubs succeed, I'll feel better. Really, just me feeling better would be a considerable achievement. I want you to do the best for you. And knowing that you've succeeded will make me feel better. I like seeing people succeed. I want you to succeed. I hope and pray and dream that all of you succeed. I want you to hope and dream and pray and succeed. But, Cubs, you're in bed now, so what I really want you to do is pray, hope, dream, and go the fuck to sleep. Okay? Get some sleep. Dreaming is better when you're asleep. Just try to remember when you wake up what you were dreaming about. Now, okay, Cubs. Enough of my philosophizing. Philosophizery. Oh. I need to shrink my picture back down. Nope. Excuse me. I stopped recording, so I can go ahead and fuck around with this for a bit. Fuck around and find out. I could do this off stream, but I don't want to because I'm still talking to you. I want you guys to succeed, and quite frankly, where's it? This book does have some awesome stories in it, great morals and everything else. And so does this book. I want you to really learn everything you can. How is this? Did I record that says onward? Oh, screw that. Okay, that's square. Now, Cubs, it's only been an hour and 15 minutes. I only wanted to read one story tonight. I mean, we could sit around and chat and talk and whatever, but You know that's not really me. I mean, ouch. Oh, fuck. I'm sore. My leg's been killing me for the past couple of months, honestly. Oh, it's just blistering out of hell. But enough of my shortcomings. Let's see if there's anyone worth reading. I saw the cute blue pup on earlier. She's still on. Yep, cute blue pup still on. Let's rate her. She's playing a hat in time. I guess it's a good game. I haven't really played it, but I don't even know if I have any viewers right now. No one's bothered doing any sound clips or anything else, so. It says it's got one person watching. So let's. Rate her anyway. Okay. Oh, my one viewer. Uh, okay. One more stellar to raid. Do I have it coming? There's not a wolf coming. What the hell? Screw it. I don't need to raid message. I'm just gonna raid. Anyway, Cubs, have a good night. I'm gonna go raid Seneca because honestly, she shares a name with my niece, and well, my niece is cute. Seneca's cute, so it's just appropriate. Um, talk to you guys later, okay? Have a good night.
Okay, that's not it either.
Oh, thanks for the ranking, John. How are ya? Thank you. That's good. We're confused right now. Trying to not be confused. I'm sorry, my English.
Maybe the UFO doesn't go on top.
Maybe it doesn't go on top. Maybe it goes like maybe I can't.
Maybe the UFO just goes in the middle. Like that. Beautiful.
Oh,
Wait, they don't actually stack on top of each other.
wait, this is weird. I feel like any hint in this game, bro, they're just not gonna tell us. So that looks weird. I kind of like the other.